As a Christian, when you're in a transition phase, there's a fundamental question you can ask the Lord that'll help you to navigate the transition in a peaceful way instead of a way that's fraught with worry, right? I'll explain more in this video. Hi there, I'm Lisa Berg, and on this channel we love walking you through and helping you and coaching you on how to do everyday life with Jesus, what it looks like to walk and talk with Him, have conversations with Him, hear His wisdom, be able to hear what He's saying, follow His leading. It's the most exquisite way to live. So if you're new here, consider liking and subscribing and share this video with your friends. We do a new video every single week and reels every day. It's just to encourage you, just to send the truth of the gospel out. So please share it with your friends. So we are in the middle of a transition at the moment, and actually a good couple of my coaching clients are too. So I've had a lot of these conversations over the last week or two, and there's a fundamental question that we get to ask the Lord that'll help us to navigate transition well. Because let's face it, transition can be hard, right? It can be like we know where we are, we know we've got to move from where we are. It's just like you get this stirring, this is the first part of it, right? You get this like dissatisfaction with where you are, or things just aren't working, or you feel a draw to somewhere else, but you just know that where you currently are is not working. Whether that's where you live, the job you're in, the way you're thinking, there's all sorts of ways that God invites us through a process of transition to go from where we are to where He's leading us to next, right? So that's the first thing, is start noticing where you feel uncomfortable, where you starting to feel a shift or frustrated with where you are, and like, there's more, or there's something different, right? And pay attention to that. The next phase of the transition is the piece in between leaving where you are and getting to where He would like you to go. Okay, so what that looks like is, and it's probably, they're all three important, but this is probably the most rich piece of this, right? So when we feel like we're supposed to leave somewhere else, one of the great things we can do there is give God our yes. Right? Is say to Him, okay, Lord, I feel like something's shifting and changing. I give you my yes, regardless of knowing what it looks like or not, right? That's the key. Because then in this middle portion, what we do is, this is the place where He matures us, where He helps us, where He grows us to get ready for where we're going, right? So often I'll hear my clients say, and I've said myself, like, God, okay, so where are we going? What does it look like? And we get excited about the future, or maybe it's a little scary and we just want to know more, right? So we have a sense of security and control. And God is often not willing to answer that question until He knows that we're at a character place, at a maturity place, at a development place where we can actually listen to the answer. So the example I give is, say your child is 12, right? And you're like, I want to start driving, Mommy and Daddy. I want to start experiencing what a car's like and everything. And you're going, yeah, you're not 16 or 17 yet, whatever the legal age to start driving is in where you live, right? And you're going, okay, you're not 16 or 17 yet, so there's no way I'll give you the keys to the car, but I could start teaching you things. We could graduate from, I don't know, a bicycle to a motorbike. We could start just get you an ATV or something. Like, we can just start teaching you what it's like to have the responsibility of driving, right? Because it's not just driving your car, but it's looking out for other people on the road. It's not causing accidents. It's driving responsibly. All of those kind of things. We can start teaching you those things before we give you the keys to the car, right? So in that transition period, so they're 12 and they can start driving when they're 16. In that 4-year period, it's super important to steward that feeling of, I need to move, I need to know more, to steward it well. And then in that 4-year period, to grow the character that's needed in order for you to start learning to drive a car when you're 16, right? It's exactly the same in every single transition with us. There's the feeling that you need to leave somewhere, then there's transition period in the middle. And the question we get to ask God, let's go to the third piece. And then the third piece is actually getting to where you're going, right? Being able to go from this side of the bank of the river across the bridge, which is the transition piece, and to the other side of the bridge, which is where you're going. And in all three of these phases, there's a fundamental question that brings a ton of peace. And that question is, God, where would you have me go next? What would you have me do next? The focus shifts from me, I feel like I need to move. This is what I want. This is where I want to go. It changes from us to the focus being on God. Lord, what do you need done on earth that you and I get to do together? It's a super important question and a super important position of heart, posture of heart, right? Because when we come from the place of, this is what I want to see, and that's our exclusive motivation, then when it doesn't happen, we get very disappointed and we start blaming God, we start blaming other people, we start blaming ourselves in some circumstances, and all it creates is a whole lot of frustration and angst and right? Because it's about what we want. Now, don't get me wrong, we're absolutely legitimately allowed to say to God, Lord, I'd love this. I'd love to see this. Say you're feeling like you need to move house, right? Lord, I'd love a house that looks like this. Lord, I'd love a house that's got this many bedrooms. Or I'd love a house that's got a place for the car to be parked, or whatever. We're absolutely legitimately allowed to dream with God and voice what we want, right? But when we go, I want a house, whatever, a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house with a 6-car garage and everything like it, it becomes a selfish desire. It becomes a greed thing, right? And God doesn't respond well to that. And also, it's not a place where we get to come from generosity, kindness, goodness, thinking about God. It becomes all about me and what I want, right? So it's not an awesome kingdom place to be. But when we switch that mindset to, Lord, what do you have next? Lord, what do you need done? Where would you like me to go? What does it look like? And we do that from a place of curiosity. It's a key. You do that from a place of curiosity and awe and wonder at what God is doing. Then truly the transition becomes a beautiful invitation from the Lord to grow, to mature, to hear him more, to agree with his heart more, to be about your Father's business and be doing what he's called you to do. And it feeds into the purpose of your life. It feeds into thanksgiving and gratitude. It feeds into wonder and awe at what God will do. And from that place, when things shift and change, you're able to go, okay, I didn't get that thing that looked like it was really the answer to my prayers. Sweet. That must mean you have something else, Lord. You have something else for me to do, or another place for me to look at, or another job for me to look at, or another place for the kids to go to school. Whatever the transition is that you're in, it gets to be a place where you believe so much in the goodness and kindness of God to bring you all that he needs to bring you, and stuff that would meet the desires of your heart, that it then becomes a place where you're easily able to let go of what he doesn't want for you and expectantly hope and long for the things that he does have for you. This is peaceful. This is full of anxiety. So you get to choose today. If you know that God is nudging you to a place where you get to transition, then choose to do it in peace, or you will do it in anxiety. Okay? But the beautiful invitation from God and his absolute heart for you is to do it from a place of peace. So remember, 3 stages of transition: when you're leaving somewhere, when you're crossing the bridge to get to the other side, and when you've reached the other side. And in all of that, the questions are, Lord, what do you need? Where do we get to go? What does it look like for you? How do I get to serve you? How do I get to be about my Father's business? Because when that's our heart posture, you can bet your bottom dollar that God will provide a place that will meet your heart's desires too. So as always, Jesus is inviting you on this adventure today. Will you accept? Come across and visit us at accomplishyourpurpose.com and share this video. Let's send encouragement around the world. If I can help you in a coaching capacity, come across to the website, book a call. Let's have a free 30-minute consultation, and we'll just talk through what you're going through and see if I can help you on the journey. Bless you, bless you, bless you. And I'll see you next time.